right, how's everybody doing? Great. So, as Alex alluded to, I'm one of the co-founders of Jiffy. We are a dynamic marketplace that connects homeowners with home service professionals in real time based on their proximity. And today, I'm going to be talking about marketplaces. I'm obsessed with how marketplaces can take a really archaic and outdated industry and make it super efficient. So I want to spend 5 minutes talking about some of the marketplace dynamics that I've learned over the past few years of starting Jiffy. So I'm going to go over why they're so awesome, why I love them, what makes an industry ripe for a marketplace, suppliers pick marketplace, which is a unique type of marketplace that we at Jiffy fall under, and recipes for success. And I'm going to try to use examples of some my favorite marketplaces throughout. So why are they so awesome? So they take a really inefficient industry and make it super efficient. So just imagine before Garage Sale or Kijiji or whatnot, if you're looking for a certain item, actually waking up Saturday, Sunday morning, going to a bunch of garage sales, looking for a certain item aimlessly. It would be impossible. Or even, for you younger single folk, Tinder, what it was like for me having to go to bars aimlessly and introduce myself. Very tough. Most importantly, they establish trust, safety, and accountability. So think before Airbnb, a host had no idea who was staying at their house. A guest had no idea if a place was as described. So not only does something like Airbnb guarantee the transaction for both parts of the marketplace by taking account of the transaction, but also ratings, reviews on both parties help. Both parties can do their research. And even before they had reviews and ratings built up, Airbnb made both parties link to their socials. And everyone's a winner, so it's got to be a win-win-win. So something like Fiverr, there's millions of freelancers, there's millions of people looking for their work. Obviously, it makes sense for them to meet up in a marketplace. Fiverr's got a great business model, so it's a win for everyone, except if you're not participating. So what makes an industry ripe? Needs high fragmentation, so a large number of buyers and a large number of sellers. So think about StubHub, T-Swift concert. There's thousands of people who want tickets. There's thousands of people who got to get rid of their tickets. Makes sense that they meet up in a marketplace. It needs density to create liquidity. So if a ton of people didn't want to sell used appliances and a ton of people didn't want to buy used appliances, Kijiji wouldn't work for used appliances. But it does. Frequency of use, obviously you want a high frequency of use, so the value of the client is more than the cost to acquire them. So if you need your dog walked once, twice a week at random times, Rover in the States would be a great app to link you up with a dog walker in your area when they have availability. However, if you needed your dog walked twice a day for 7 days a week, both parties are very susceptible to moving off platform. So think about Handy with cleaners maybe, you know what I'm saying? And you need network effects. So the more parties that join on the marketplace, the better it gets. So think Uber and their virtuous circle. The more drivers they got, the more people that join on with their freebies, the more drivers they'd get. The tighter that geographical density is, the quicker response time, the busier the drivers are so they can drive down the price, then the more people join the platform, and so on and so forth. So we at Jiffy actually are lucky we fall into this nice suppliers pick marketplace area, and what that means is that there doesn't need to be a lot of work on both sides of the transaction to both sides of the service or product to actually lead to a transaction. So think at Jiffy, if you need a dimmer installed, you don't care what electrician comes, you just want a pre-vetted, well-rated electrician. Uber's the same way. So there's low effort for the buyer, low effort for the seller, meaning that you can go on the Jiffy app, tap something, you can go on Uber, and it'll connect you instantly with someone who's around you. Versus Airbnb, which is a buyer's pick marketplace. So that requires work on the buyer to go on Airbnb, read through all the reviews, look through all the pictures, communicate back and forth with potential hosts to actually settle on a place. So out of every time you go on Airbnb, kind of medium fill ratio there of that turning into a transaction. And Tinder, which is a double commit marketplace. So actually both parties need to swipe right or whatnot. I'm not on it. And then communicate with each other and eventually decide to meet up. Steve, my colleague, told me all about it. And some recipes for success. So the number one thing about marketplaces, the hardest thing to get off the ground is what comes first, the chicken or the egg. We at Jiffy, we were lucky that all these electricians, plumbers, what have you, existed, and they had time in their day for more jobs, so it was easy for us to get them on board. Very similar how Uber launched with taxis and chauffeurs, get a bunch of get a bunch of riders, and then they go out and they can get the demand, the supply of the UberX drivers. Bring offline conversations online. So Grubhub's a great example. So they saw that 40% of their restaurants didn't have their own website. So they would give them all their own website for free, knowing that when people would come on and order from their website, they were becoming Grubhub clients. Virality, if you're lucky enough to have virality built within the product, like Eventbrite, the first person who created an event for Eventbrite invited 500 people. They became people who would know about Eventbrite. They may create their own events and so on and so forth, and create memorable and better experiences. So Instacart actually saw a decline in reorders when they stopped delivering with their own bags. So make it memorable, make the marketplace memorable, and better experiences. Us at Jiffy, the status quo of dealing with electricians, plumbers, handymen, what have you, is horrible. And we try to go above and beyond in the customer service realm to make it that much better of an experience. And that's it. And we got a $50 TechTO code. What up, right? Am I right? That's it. Applause. Questions? Yeah, you in front. Or whoever you guys want to pick.
Well, thank you. I got 2 mics. Well, thank you very much. I really find that your service will be really helpful. One question as a user is what's your standard when you're vetting all the electricians, and what are the standards that you're applied?
So companies can apply to be on our platform, and luckily for electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, gas techs, that kind of stuff, they all have a license or certification that we can check. They need to meet certain requirements, minimum amount of liability insurance, and then they'll actually come into our office for an in-person meeting where we'll vet them. And if they have an online presence, we do our background research on them, and we'll call their references, and if we want them on the platform, we'll approve them, and then they're rated by the users. So after their first 5 jobs, we closely monitor their ratings, and we know fairly quickly if they're worth keeping on. Yeah, one more question. This gentleman.
So my question is just building a marketplace. How do you acquire the first 100,000, 10,000 when a product is very, very brand new?
Yeah, so the supply side, we actually got, we launched with 15 categories. We got 5 companies on in each category. So we signed up 75 companies right off the bat with 0 clients. And that was easy. We just told them this is what we're doing. We're only taking 5 on per company. You're either with us or we're going to another company. And then we had those 75. We sent an email to 600 of our friends, family, anyone who lived in a house that we thought would benefit, gave them a promo code to try it out, said it won't look pretty. We may not be able to get you someone within 3 hours, same day, what have you, but give it a shot. And we'd get like 2-3 random orders a day. We got a random person booked a job. I called them, asked them how they heard about it. And then really it grew from there. Like luckily it's a referral-based kind of industry as is, and because we now have 30 categories, if you use us for an electrician, anytime and you have a great memorable experience, anytime someone asks you for a plumber or handyman or whatever you may need, an appliance repair tech, hopefully would come to mind. Good question though. If anyone has other answers to that, that would be useful for everyone. One more. Jason's telling me Alex was nodding. Yeah, okay, let's do it. One more. Anyone? Yep.
Hey there. Could you take me through your fundraising process? Like, how did you get started in terms of like your own personal savings and then seed funding and then that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so my partners and I funded the business ourselves from the start, and we had a network of angel investors that verbally told us they loved it and they'd be into it. But we wanted to actually build the product and have 100+ companies signed up and traction. So we funded it for about 6 months, and then we went to those angels, 95% of which didn't end up investing.
Of course.
So you gotta, yeah. And we've raised 1 round since that initial early seed round.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, guys.